We are told that aging is a decline, a slow fading of our physical selves. This is a story, not a truth. Within your body lies a strength you have forgotten, a resilience that can be reawakened. The key is not a new medicine, but an ancient plant. And the final understanding of how to unlock it, the way to truly rebuild what was lost, is the most important lesson I can share. Please, stay until the end. Mountain stillness. When we look at the mountain, what do we see? We see stillness. We see something that appears unchanging, immovable. For many, this is how they view the later stages of life, as a time of stillness, of slowing down, a time where vigorous activity is a memory. But this is a profound misunderstanding of what a mountain is, and a profound misunderstanding of what our bodies can be. The mountain is not truly still. Inside its rocky form, there is immense pressure, immense energy. It is teeming with life. Trees grow on its slopes, rivers are born from its peaks, and animals find shelter in its embrace. Its stillness is not one of emptiness, but of deep, grounded strength. This is the quality we must seek to cultivate within ourselves as we age. Not the frantic, often chaotic energy of youth, but a deep, resilient, mountain-like strength. The loss of muscle, this condition some call sarcopenia, is often seen as an inevitable erosion, like wind wearing away at a stone. We feel ourselves becoming less stable, less capable of bearing weight, less confident in our own physical form. We begin to fear a fall, to avoid lifting things, to see our own body as fragile. But this is only because we have forgotten how to be the mountain. We have forgotten that our strength is not just in the visible moving parts, but in the stable, quiet foundation. The training in a monastery is not always about fast movements. A great deal of it is about holding postures, standing like a tree, holding the arms in a circle as if embracing the world. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like stillness, but inside the practitioner feels the fire. The legs begin to tremble, the shoulders ache, the mind screams to give up. This is where true strength is built. It is in the quiet resistance, the enduring presence. This is the quality that prevents the slow decay of muscle. It is the body learning to be strong even in stillness. So before we speak of any food, before we speak of any specific remedy, we must first adjust our mindset. We are not trying to reclaim the energy of a crashing wave. We are trying to cultivate the power of a deep ocean current. We are not trying to be a sapling bending in the wind. We are trying to become the ancient tree with roots that grip the earth, unmoving in a storm. The loss of muscle is a symptom of losing our roots, of becoming ungrounded in our own physical being. We have been taught to look outside of ourselves for solutions, for a pill or a powder to fix the problem. But the first step is always to look within, to change the way we perceive our own body and its potential. We must see it not as a failing machine, but as a mountain that we can learn to inhabit with quiet, unshakable power. True vitality in our later years is not about running the fastest race. It is about being able to walk with confidence and stability. It is about being able to lift your grandchildren without a flicker of fear. It is about knowing that your body is a reliable vessel, a strong home for your mind and spirit. This confidence does not come from a frantic search for a cure. It comes from a patient, mindful cultivation of your inner mountain. It begins with the simple decision to no longer see yourself as fading, but as deepening. To see your stillness not as a weakness, but as the very source of your enduring strength. Inner river. Within each of us there is a river. The ancient masters spoke of this as Qi, the vital life force that flows through channels in the body, nourishing and animating every part of our being. In more modern terms, we can think of this as the intricate network of our circulation, the blood that carries oxygen and nutrients to every cell, every tissue, every muscle fiber. When this river flows freely, with vigor and purpose, the body thrives. The lands it touches are fertile and strong. When the river becomes sluggish, when it is dammed or polluted, the lands begin to wither. This is a simple and powerful way to understand the process of muscle loss. It is the result of a slowing, stagnating inner river. As we age, there is a tendency for this flow to diminish. We become more sedentary, our heart does not pump with the same force, and our circulation can become less efficient. The muscles, which are incredibly hungry for the nutrients and oxygen carried by the blood, begin to feel this deficit. They are like fields that are no longer being properly irrigated. Slowly, they begin to dry up, to shrink. The protein we eat, no matter how much, is like rainfall. But if the rivers and streams that distribute the water are blocked, the rain will simply pool and evaporate, never reaching the soil that needs it. This is why simply adding more protein to your diet without addressing the flow can be an incomplete solution. The feeling of weakness, of fatigue, is the feeling of this stagnation. It is a sign that the life-giving river within is not reaching its destinations. Our task then is not just to provide better rainfall, better nutrition, but also to clear the riverbeds. How do we do this? We do this through movement, but not necessarily the explosive, high-impact movement we associate with youth. It can be gentle, mindful movement, a slow walk, a deliberate stretching, the flowing forms of Qigong or Tai Chi. These practices are designed specifically to encourage and guide the flow of Qi, to move the blood, to ensure that the nourishment we take in is delivered to where it is needed most. Imagine you are trying to send a small boat filled with precious cargo down a river. If the river is choked with debris and the current is weak, the boat will not arrive. This boat is the protein, the amino acids your muscles need to rebuild. The movement is the clearing of the debris and the strengthening of the current. Each time you move with intention, you are helping to ensure that this precious cargo reaches its destination. You are telling your body, through the language of movement, send resources here. This area needs to be strong. This area is active. The body, in its wisdom, will listen. It will direct the flow of its inner river to the muscles you are using. So, when we feel our strength waning, we should not only ask, what should I eat? We must also ask, how can I improve the flow? The answer is to become a student of your own inner river, to feel where it is blocked, to notice when it is sluggish. This requires a certain mindfulness, a connection to the subtle signals of the body. It requires us to see exercise not as a punishment or a chore to be gotten over with, but as a form of sacred maintenance, like a gardener tending to the irrigation channels that keep his garden alive. The food we will discuss is profoundly important, but its power is only truly unlocked when the pathways within you are open, clear, and ready to receive it. The strength we seek is a living, flowing strength, not a static, brittle one. Rooted foundation. A tree can have the most beautiful leaves, the most abundant fruit, but if its roots are shallow and weak, the first strong wind will bring it crashing to the ground. In the human body, our roots are our legs and our core. This is our foundation. All of our power, our stability, our ability to interact with the world in a confident, upright way originates from this foundation. When we speak of preventing muscle loss in our later years, we are, most critically, speaking of maintaining these roots. The muscles of the arms and shoulders are important, but the muscles of the legs, hips, and lower back are the very definition of our physical autonomy. As we age, it is this foundation that is often the first to be neglected. We sit for longer periods, we walk less, we avoid squatting or bending, we begin to rely on our arms to pull ourselves up rather than our legs to push. In doing so, we are telling our body that these roots are no longer necessary. The body, being an eminently practical system, will not waste resources on what is not being used. And so, the powerful muscles of the thighs and glutes begin to shrink. The stabilizing muscles of the core begin to weaken. Our roots become shallow. This is why a simple fall can be so devastating for an older person. The tree has lost its anchor to the earth. The practice of maintaining this foundation is not complicated. It does not require heavy weights or complex machinery. It begins with the most fundamental human movements. The act of standing up from a chair. But instead of using your hands, you place your feet firmly on the ground, engage the muscles of your legs and core, and push the ground away. Rise like a king or queen ascending their throne. The act of sitting down should be the same, a controlled descent, not a collapse. This simple, mindful practice done every single time you sit and stand is a powerful form of training. You are reteaching your body how to use its roots. Another simple practice is to simply stand. Stand on both legs, feeling your weight distributed evenly. Feel the connection between the soles of your feet and the floor. Then, shift your weight to one leg. Lift the other foot just an inch off the ground. Hold it for 10 seconds, then 20, then 30. You will feel the hundreds of small adjustments your ankle, your leg, and your hip must make to keep you stable. You are waking up the roots. You are reminding them of their primary purpose, to provide a stable, unshakable foundation. This is far more valuable than many of the exercises we see people doing in a gym. It is fundamental. It is about your connection to the earth. When we provide the body with the right building materials, the right food, it needs instructions on where to build. These simple foundational movements are the instructions. They are the blueprint that tells the body, we need to reinforce the foundation. Send the materials here. Without this blueprint, the materials may be delivered to the wrong place or not used at all. A strong foundation gives us more than just physical stability. It gives us confidence. The confidence to navigate an uneven path, to play with a child on the floor, to live without the nagging background fear of falling. This is true freedom. Before you worry about the size of your arms, worry about the depth of your roots. For a tree with a strong root system can withstand any storm and will continue to bear fruit for many, many years. Emptying cup. There is an old story of a scholar who came to a master to learn about Zen. The scholar was full of his own ideas and opinions, and he talked endlessly, explaining his own understanding. The master listened patiently and then began to pour tea into the scholar's cup. He poured, and soon the tea overflowed, spilling onto the table. The scholar, alarmed, cried out, "Stop! The cup is full. It can hold no more." The master stopped pouring and replied, "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" This story is essential for our journey today. Before we can receive new knowledge about nourishment, we must first be willing to empty our minds of old, unhelpful ideas. Many of us have cups overflowing with ideas about protein and aging. We have been told for decades that strength comes from meat, from whey protein powders, from consuming large quantities of animal products. We have been told that plant-based diets are for lean runners or spiritual seekers, not for those who want to build and maintain strong muscle. We have been told that as we get older, we need even more of these heavy foods to fight off frailty. Some of these ideas may hold a sliver of truth, but they are incomplete. They are a full cup that prevents us from seeing a wider, more harmonious truth about how the body can be nourished. We must be willing to question these assumptions. Is it possible that the heaviest, densest foods are not always the most effective for building clean, resilient strength? Is it possible that the body has to work so hard to digest and process these foods that it creates a net energy deficit, leaving us feeling sluggish and heavy even if the protein count is high? Is it possible that a lighter, more easily assimilated form of protein could provide the building blocks our muscles need without burdening the entire system? These are the questions we must be brave enough to ask. We must be willing to pour out a little of what we think we know to make room for a new perspective. This process of emptying the cup is not about rejecting everything you have learned. It is about creating space. It is about approaching your own body and your own nutrition with a beginner's mind, a mind that is curious, open, and receptive. The greatest obstacle to learning is not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. If we are already convinced that we know the one and only way to maintain muscle, then no amount of evidence, no new information can possibly reach us. We will be like the full cup, unable to receive anything more. So for a moment, let us set aside the commercials for protein shakes. Let us set aside the diet books that insist on a single rigid path. Let us set aside the idea that strength must feel heavy and dense. Let us empty our cup and prepare to receive a simple ancient truth. A truth that has sustained people in monasteries, people who perform incredible feats of physical endurance and control for centuries. They did not do so with complex supplements or heavy meals. They did so with a deep understanding of the body's natural harmony. Let us be open to their wisdom. Let us make our minds quiet and our cups empty, ready to be filled. Observing nature. If you wish to understand a principle, observe it in nature. Nature is the greatest teacher, for it operates on principles of efficiency, harmony, and sustainability. It does not waste energy. It does not create things that are unnecessarily complex. When we look to the natural world for examples of incredible strength and endurance, what do we find? We find the ox, the elephant, the gorilla. These are animals of immense power. They can pull heavy carts, uproot trees, and exhibit strength that far surpasses our own. And what do they eat? They eat plants. This is not a judgment or a prescription. It is a simple observation. It is a piece of evidence from the world around us that challenges the deeply ingrained belief that muscular strength can only come from consuming the muscle of other beings. Nature shows us that this is not the case. The building blocks of strong, powerful muscle, the amino acids, are abundant in the plant kingdom. These powerful animals have digestive systems exquisitely designed to extract these building blocks from grasses, leaves, and fruits, and to assemble them into the formidable structures of their own bodies. They are masters of building strength from the earth. We as humans have lost some of this connection. We have moved into cities, we have created processed foods, and we have begun to believe that our nourishment must come from a box or a package. We have forgotten how to eat in a way that is in harmony with our own nature. We look at a powerful animal and think, I must eat the animal to get its strength. We do not think, I must learn to eat like the animal to draw strength from the same source it does. This is a fundamental shift in perspective. It is the difference between being a scavenger and being a cultivator. Observing nature also teaches us about the quality of strength. The strength of a carnivorous predator, like a tiger, is often explosive and short-lived. It is a strength for the hunt, for the burst of speed and power. The strength of a large herbivore is one of endurance, of sustained power, of deep, grounded resilience. As we age, which of these qualities is more valuable to us? Is it the explosive burst or the ability to endure, to remain stable and strong throughout the day, throughout the years? For most of us, the answer is clear. We seek the enduring strength of the ox, not the fleeting power of the pounce. This is not to say that one way is good and one is bad. It is to say that we must choose the right tool for the right purpose. In our quest to prevent the loss of muscle and vitality in our later years, it is wise to observe which natural strategies produce the results we desire. The evidence is all around us, in every field and forest. Strength is not a secret that is locked away in animal flesh. It is a potential that is rooted in the soil, drawn up into the leaves and stems of plants, waiting for a body wise enough to know how to use it. By observing nature, we open our minds to this possibility. We see that there are other paths to power, paths that are perhaps gentler on our bodies and more in harmony with the world around us. Kitchen monastery. For many people, the kitchen is a place of labor, a chore. It is a space for the hurried assembly of meals, a station on the way to the more important activities of the day. But we can choose to see it differently. We can transform our kitchen into a monastery. Not a place of silent, robed figures, but a place of mindful practice. A sacred space where we perform one of the most fundamental and intimate acts of self-care, the preparation of our own nourishment. When we approach the kitchen with this mindset, the act of cooking ceases to be a burden and becomes a meditation. Every action can be performed with intention. The washing of a vegetable is a cleansing, not just of the food, but of our own hurried mind. As the water flows over it, we can imagine it washing away our stress, our impatience. The chopping of the ingredients can become a practice of precision and focus. The rhythmic sound of the knife on the cutting board can be a mantra. Each slice is an opportunity to be fully present, not thinking about the past or worrying about the future, but simply being with the task at hand. You are not just cutting a carrot, you are engaging in a moment of pure, undivided attention. When your kitchen becomes your monastery, the food you create is imbued with a different kind of energy. It is imbued with your care, your focus, your intention. Do you think a meal prepared with a stressed, angry, or distracted mind will nourish the body in the same way as a meal prepared with a calm, peaceful, and loving mind? The physical ingredients may be the same, but the subtle energy is entirely different. The body is not just a machine that processes calories and nutrients. It is a sensitive instrument that responds to the energy of what we consume. Preparing food with a good heart is the first step to ensuring it will be well received by the body. This practice also changes our relationship with the food itself. When we take the time to prepare it mindfully, we develop a sense of gratitude and respect for it. We see the vibrant color of a bell pepper, we feel the solid weight of a potato, we smell the fragrant aroma of an herb. We are connecting with our food on a sensory level, which is a crucial part of healthy digestion. Digestion does not begin in the stomach, it begins in the mind. It begins when we see and smell our food, when our brain sends signals to our digestive system to prepare for what is coming. A hurried, mindless meal bypasses this essential first step. So, before we even introduce this specific food for building strength, we must prepare the space. We must consecrate the ground. Let your kitchen be a place of peace. Put on some calming music or simply enjoy the sounds of your own work. Banish the television and the arguments from this space. Let it be a sanctuary. When you prepare your food in this way, you are doing more than just making a meal. You are practicing a form of alchemy. You are transforming simple, humble ingredients from the earth into a potion of vitality and strength. This transformation begins not in the pot, but in your own mind and heart. Your kitchen is your monastery, and you are the abbot, presiding over the sacred ritual of your own nourishment. Simple sustenance. In our modern world, we are often sold complexity. We are presented with protein powders that have 20 different ingredients, energy bars with formulas developed in a laboratory, and meal plans that require a degree of precision and calculation that would rival an engineer's. The assumption is that for a problem as serious as muscle loss, the solution must be equally complex and technologically advanced. But what if the opposite is true? What if the most powerful solutions are, in fact, the simplest? What if the sustenance our bodies truly crave is humble, ancient, and unadorned? Consider the lives of monks in mountain temples for centuries. Their diets were not complex. They did not have access to refrigerated supply chains or scientifically formulated supplements. They ate what could be grown locally, what could be stored easily, and what provided clean, efficient energy for long periods of meditation and demanding physical practice. Theirs was a diet of simple sustenance, rice, vegetables, and a source of protein that was reliable, inexpensive, and in complete harmony with their philosophy of compassion. They did not just survive on this diet, they thrived. They developed bodies that were both incredibly strong and incredibly supple, capable of feats of endurance that seem almost superhuman. This points to a profound truth. The body does not necessarily need more, it needs better. It needs nourishment that it can recognize and assimilate easily without placing a heavy burden on the digestive system. Many of the complex, processed foods and heavy animal proteins we consume require an enormous amount of energy to break down. This is the food coma we often feel after a large, heavy meal. The body has to divert so much energy to the stomach that the rest of the system feels sluggish and depleted. This is not a state that is conducive to building vibrant, energetic muscle. It is a state of burden. Simple sustenance, on the other hand, provides the necessary building blocks in a form that the body can welcome with ease. Think of foods that are close to their natural state: a simple bean, a lentil, a grain. These are foods that have nourished civilizations for millennia. They do not shout for our attention with bright packaging or bold health claims. They are quiet, humble, and deeply effective. When we base our diet on these simple foods, the body breathes a sigh of relief. It is no longer at war with our meals. It can take in the nourishment gently, efficiently, and use it to repair and rebuild without an exhausting struggle. The food we are leading up to is the very embodiment of this principle. It is a food that has been a cornerstone of simple, powerful sustenance in Asia for over 2,000 years. It is not a new invention. It is not a secret formula. It is a humble gift from the earth, transformed through a simple, elegant process into a powerhouse of nutrition. By embracing this kind of food, we are not just choosing an ingredient, we are choosing a philosophy. We are choosing the path of simplicity over complexity, of harmony over struggle, of quiet, enduring strength over loud, temporary fixes. This is the first step in aligning our diet with the wisdom of nature and the timeless practices that have cultivated human vitality for ages. Unveiling strength. The time has come to name the food we have been speaking of. It is not a rare berry from a distant jungle or an expensive powder. It is a humble, beautiful food that you have likely seen 100 times in your local market. It is tofu, and more broadly, it is the soybean from which it is born. Now, before your mind closes, before the old ideas in your cup begin to stir, let us look at this food with fresh eyes, as if for the first time. Let us understand why this simple white block has been a source of profound strength for so long, and why it is an almost perfect food for preventing muscle loss as we age.